All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the massive demand for modern web developers, and more importantly, the specific tech stack that's literally driving the entire industry forward right now. We're going to break down exactly why the MERN stack is just ideal for modern web app development and why it's replacing all those clunky older systems so fast. But hey, before we even get to the whole MERN acronym, you might be wondering why everyone in the software world simply cannot stop talking about React and modern JavaScript. Seriously, if you look at the front-end landscape today, React is absolutely everywhere. So why the obsession? What's the big deal? Well, here's the crucial data point for you. There are currently over 40,000 open React jobs in the US alone. 40,000! Companies so desperately need to build and scale web apps faster that they're tossing out massive starting salaries. We're talking around 80 grand a year, even for brand new junior developers. The market just urgently needs people who know how to build interactive interfaces efficiently. Section 1. Unpacking the MERN stack. So React is obviously a huge piece of the puzzle, but to really get how it fits into the broader MERN stack, we've got to separate the front end from the back end. The front end, that's what you and I actually interact with. The buttons, the layout, all the UI and UX. That's where React lives, hanging out with HTML and CSS. The back end, on the other hand, is the hidden machinery. It's handling the server logic, routing the APIs, and managing the databases, totally behind the scenes. Unpacking that MERN acronym, we're looking at MongoDB for flexible cloud-based data storage, Express and Node teaming up to power the back-end server, and, of course, React rendering the front end. What makes this exact combination so incredibly powerful is that it creates this perfectly seamless ecosystem using just one single language, JavaScript. You never have to switch your mental context between the front end and back end. It's a real game changer. Now, the real reason React is the undisputed king of the front end within this stack is its virtual DOM. This completely solves that frustrating old-school problem of clunky page reloads. I mean, instead of refreshing an entire web page just because you clicked a like button, the virtual DOM calculates exactly what changed and updates only that specific element dynamically. It essentially makes web apps feel just as snappy as native mobile apps. Section 2. Real-world MERN, the portal. Okay, I know abstract concepts can be a bit dry, so let's look at a concrete engineering project to see this in action, a web-based student attendance management system. The researchers here identified a pretty glaring issue. Believe it or not, a ton of engineering colleges still rely on manual paper registers for attendance and actual physical notice boards for results, right? Crazy. This creates a really slow, highly error-prone system with literally zero real-time updates for students or their parents. It is a classic communication gap, just begging for a modern software solution. So the way this solution maps out using REST APIs is pretty clever. A user interacts with the React front end, say, checking their grades. The front end then fires off a REST API call to the Node and Express backend. That backend processes the request, runs a quick role check, and queries the MongoDB Atlas Cloud database. Boom! It is clean, it's modular, and it is highly, highly efficient. Section 3. Securing the system. But here's the major challenge, right? You've got totally different types of users logging in: students, faculty, admins, parents. How do we keep all that data secure and make sure a student can't, accidentally or intentionally change their own grades? The magic answer here is JWT, or JSON Web Tokens. Instead of relying on those heavy, traditional server sessions, the MERN system uses these incredibly lightweight stateless tokens. When you log in, the server basically hands your browser a JWT. It's like a digital bouncer. Your browser holds onto it and then attaches it to every single API request you make moving forward. Ask the server for data, the bouncer checks your token first to make sure you're actually on the list. And that token is exactly what enables true role-based access control. The system reads the JWT and strictly routes the user based on their specific identity. So a student, they're locked securely into the student dashboard just to view marks. A faculty member, they get routed to a totally different dashboard where they can actually upload those marks. The researchers confirmed this role separation worked flawlessly, absolutely preventing anyone from snooping around in another role's data. Section 4. MERN versus legacy systems. Let's take a step back and compare this modern approach to the traditional legacy systems colleges usually try to build when they finally ditch paper. When you actually compare the options, it pretty much proves why MERN wins out in the real world. Paper, too slow. Older PHP systems, no real-time updates. Hardware solutions like RFID, way too expensive to install. And biometric scanners, yeah, those raise some serious privacy concerns. The proposed MERN stack just hits the absolute sweet spot. It's secure, it handles multiple roles effortlessly, and it's real-time, relying purely on highly accessible web software. Section 5. Why MERN is ideal. So, to bring it all together, why is this specific stack the definitive choice for developers right now? First off, the modern tools in the MERN ecosystem make engineers incredibly productive. For instance, the researchers noted that by using Vite as their build tool, their dev server started in a blazing fast 0.8 seconds. Compare that to the 4 seconds it used to take with older tools like Create React App. I mean, in the development world, that speed difference is absolutely massive for rapid iteration and testing. Ultimately, MERN is just ideal because it hands developers everything they need in one cohesive package. You get real-time UI updates thanks to React, you get rock-solid 2-layer security protecting both your front-end routes and your back-end APIs, you get that seamless full-stack integration because literally everything is written in JavaScript, and finally, as we've clearly seen today, it scales effortlessly, from a simple college portal all the way up to massive enterprise applications. With thousands of lucrative jobs waiting and the technology moving this fast, it is incredibly clear why MERN is dominating the industry. So I'll leave you with this to think about. As you look at the outdated, clunky software systems you interact with every single day, whether that's at work, at school, or even at the doctor's office, what legacy system in your life is about to be completely rewritten by the MERN stack next?